All right, man, peace. So, brothers, this is going to be another entry into the series. That dating app just might be a trap, but we're going to have to amend it for the sake of this edition right here. So it's going to be that social media website just might be a trap. You never know who you're meeting online. You have to take your time with these people because many of them have a lot of issues that they have to deal with. Maybe they're scared of unpacking those issues with you early on, but they are eventually going to come out. If they don't come out early, they're going to come out late. So you have to make sure that you proceed with caution with anyone that you meet, because many people here are suffering from demonic possession. What do I mean by that? What this society calls psychological issues. They become overly obsessive about things, people, places that they learn about over the internet or through the television, and they want to own that thing because they see that that person has a certain energy that they've never found anywhere else. They start to obsess over that person and create them, set them up as an idol. It's always very dangerous when one person idolizes another person. That's why I always speak about that fanboy mentality. You have people who end up dead or in the hospital or permanently damaged in some way, mentally or physically, because they idolize another person or another thing. And we're going to see that here with this young woman who became a quote-unquote social media influencer, who decided that she was going to meet and start to date one of her quote-unquote fans, and it led to her demise. So of course they're going to talk about it, and I'm going to chime in.
The shocking murder upstate, a social media star stabbed to death.
The suspect is someone she recently met online. CBS 2's Ali Bauman has the story.
17-year-old Bianca Devins had just graduated high school in upstate New York and was growing her already significant following on social media before Utica police.
Looks like she was into some Luciferianism. Let me rewind this back a little bit. Just a little bit. As we can see here, it looks like she added some vampire graphics and some skull graphics into the foreground. So you never know what she was into herself. When I say that it looks like she may have been an adherent to certain Luciferian principles, I don't mean ardently. I just mean that when you're dealing with many of these females today, most of them are Luciferians, whether they know it or not. A lot of them are moving forward into the zone or the realm of witchcraft. Many of these females are starting to embrace witchcraft, no matter what the race. Many so-called black women and women of other races, etc. So once again, you have to investigate and know exactly who you're speaking to. And what most of these females don't grasp is that many times the energy that you're putting out, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, is going to attract someone who's just as damaged and into wild practices and rituals as you are, and it might lead to your demise. But once again, my channel is geared towards the so-called black man. So I say this so that many of you brothers who meet these females, whether it be on the internet or in real life, you take your time with these women. You have to understand exactly what's making them tick to the best of your ability. None of us are perfect. We're never going to be able to fully grasp what someone is capable of, because you don't truly get an understanding of that until they're at their worst. But still, we're going to see here that this person was probably more concerned with her quote-unquote fame on the internet than she was with keeping the appropriate amount of barriers how she needs to. And then you have people who have that lust for fame and recognition, and that's all over the place. A lot of these people, they want to be venerated, they want to be worshipped by other people, they want other people to tell them how great they are and how much they've accomplished, as opposed to being validated from the inside, which is all that matters.
Following on social media before Utica police say they found Devin stabbed to death in the woods, her boyfriend laying on her body and holding a knife, and "May you never forget me" spray painted on the street nearby.
In other words, he sacrificed the broad, and he let her know that if I can't have you, no one else can. Very demonic, very dangerous spirit. Brothers, there's no woman out there that's worth killing because you want to keep her so bad. That's a sign of idolatry. That's a sign of weakness. There's nothing in this world that truly belongs to you other than your soul and your spirit. So that's what you have to be concerned with maintaining. A lot of these women are going to come and go. If you're blessed, the Most High will send you a very good woman, or maybe more than one woman, for you to be with for a certain period of time. Maybe if you're extremely, extremely blessed for your whole life. But things change every day. So it's important that the main thing that we don't lose is our sense of self, man. None of us are perfect. I say that repeatedly. Things are going to happen in life. But you never put another person on a pedestal, especially as a man. You never put a woman on a pedestal. That's the pathway to destruction.
Approached, the male attempted to take his own life by cutting his throat.
Police say
So the police officer stated that her quote-unquote boyfriend attempted to take his own life by cutting his throat when the police approached him. So it's very clear that he had mental issues, and most likely, no disrespect to her, he was someone who was heavily into the worship of blood and ritualistic sacrifices, witchcraft also. That's why I wanted to pause on that photo that was put up of her. She had bats and skulls and all that stuff in the foreground. So she clearly was into something herself.
Met 21-year-old Brandon Clark on Instagram about 2 months ago, and they quickly grew close. Saturday night, the couple got in an argument while at a concert in New York City, and Sunday morning, police say Clark posted gruesome photos of Devin's dead body online, which prompted some of her followers to call police.
She was one of the nicest people I've ever met. Nobody disliked her.
You have everyone who wants to grow up and be a social media influencer, but there's a dark side of that too, and that's what we're seeing here.
In every aspect of life, there's a dark side. There's always a light side and a dark side. You have to be strong enough to deal with both. I remember I was on one of these channels on YouTube, and this guy had one of these fitness channels, and it was a very successful channel. The dude said, I'm turning off my channel because I can't deal with some of the things that people are saying to me. I approach all forms of creativity with the understanding that you're going to have critics. People critique you for whatever reason. Sometimes it's because they see certain avenues where you could be better. But normally the way that they express themselves is going to show you what their intent is. If they say, I disagree with you here and here's why, and they state 4 or 5 facts that are irrefutable, or they're able to comprise their comment with some type of empirical data, then that's respect. But when you see people come on the internet, oh, you think you know everything, you think you this, you think you that, that's envy. And you have to be very careful when you subject yourself to too much envy, because the goal of those people is to pull you down to the cesspool that they dwell in, that they don't feel they'll ever be able to escape from. And if you're not able to differentiate between the two, positive critique from envy and, bitter bitchness, to be quite honest with you, a lot of these people, they have that bitter bitch disease. And when I say a lot, I mean that segment, because unfortunately in life, you can receive 5,000 forms of approval, but the 25 people who are envious, they tend to stand out because you can tell that what they're saying is coming from a very dark place. Unfortunately for the young woman who was killed, she clearly was unable to tell the difference between the two because she probably had a lot of dark forces within her as well. But you have to take your time with these people. You have to take your time with people that you meet in real life, much less over the internet.
Expert Chris Ruby says as it becomes easier for kids to get insta-famous, she advises parents to check the accounts following and friending their kids online.
There's no sort of Hollywood talent agent or manager that's helping these kids, and so they are...
Well, the Hollywood talent agents mostly are MK handlers. So by the time you see these people go from social media to Hollywood, they've already been put under the programming for the most part.
Themselves. You should talk to your kids about the likelihood of stalking. You should talk to them about not putting personal information on some of these platforms.
Police say Clark will likely survive his self-inflicted stab wounds and is charged with second-degree murder. In the newsroom, Ali Bauman, CBS 2 News.
He survived his stab wounds, but he's going to get stabbed up in prison, I tell you that. Because they have no regard for Chomo, so it's going to be what's going to be for him. But once again, brothers, that dating app just might be a trap. Take your time with these people. Get to know them. Figure out their spirit. And even if and when you decide to interact with them, it has to be in incremental steps. So peace.